Get in here. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Hell Ninja's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Storm Collectibles Special Edition Scorpion. This isn't the one that I wanted, but I had a hard time tracking down the initial release, so I got this one, which has the blood splatter basically on it, and that's fine. It's the same Sub-Zero one I have. They're releasing a new Scorpion, which I'll probably get, which is a more updated, the more modern Scorpion, so that'll probably end up being my Scorpion. I wouldn't have got this guy had I known that was coming at the time. Like most Storm Collectibles, he comes with a ton of accessories, and we'll go ahead and start with them. Of course, a wide array of hands, 2 karate hands, 1 right holding hand, 2 I'm gonna get ya hands, 2 blocking hands or posing hands or relaxed hands, however you want to see those. 2 spears. 1 where you take the hand out and plug the spear in. We'll have that shown at some point during this review. You just unplug the hand, insert this, plug the hand back in upside down. And then 1 holding hand, so we kind of can have it in a posed or a relaxed kind of, more of a tip of the hat to the weapon. All of them done identically, which is to say black plastic for the rope that's sculpted nice enough, and then the spear itself, which is painted silver and then splattered with the blood effects. A swap out face, with the more Mortal Kombat 1 mask with the blood splatter, and the skull, which is black plastic with a heavy dry brush of gray, and then the jaw is on a hinge, and that can interchange. And then you can even pull this off, much like we've seen in the past, with these 2 translucent pieces, heavy red paint down towards the bottom on a yellow translucent, and then we have some light red throughout, and then we have like an orange to yellow kind of gradient. It's the same orange to yellow here, to be fair. This sits into there to keep it stable. You swap out the heads, and voila, finish him. Now let's talk about the figure. So the head has this flesh tone on the face, and then it does look like there is a subtle shading. The eyes are painted white with a red ring around the eyes. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that or not. I don't know if you can catch that. But it is there, and it does look nice in person. Let's see what else. Let's adjust some lights. We have the mask itself with the black paint done up in the, like the little grooves and such, and then with the red splatter. The red splatter, it looks like there's some dry brushing, and then it looks like there's some like flicking of the brush to kind of get the spots. It's done well enough, to be fair. It's not my preferred look, but it's fine. Head is on a double ball peg. You do get some gappage if you rotate it too far. It goes into the head and then into the neck. So the range of motion is nice. It does have this piece that kind of comes up and covers most of the engineering, but you can see it in certain poses. But for the most part, it's going to work just fine and get you everything that you want. This is a problem that I have with all of these, and that is that this doesn't always sit nice and flush. It's a softer plastic here on the hood, and it just gets a little cattywampus, but it looks best when it's pressed up nicely against the face mask. For the upper body, it feels like it's a double ball peg. It could be just a really well done single, because there's a lot of hollow space in between to allow for it, but I'm not entirely sure. It works really well. And then from the abdomen into the pelvis, it's a single at least. So you can really get some poses out of this guy with no problem. I mean, that's pretty intense in terms of articulation. They're really nailing that, I must say. For the shoulders, you do have a bit of a butterfly joint. It's basically, I'm not sure, it might just be a ball peg that goes deep inside of the cavity of the chest, and then it has this piece of extra kind of skin tone around it to kind of cover down on the joint, which is nice. It comes out to a disc hinge. It gets the arm past 90 degrees up. You get the swivel all the way around and across the body a fair bit. This yellow piece is a soft floating plastic. It's connected to this, and it's also connected to this, which hides lack of plastic here, but I think that that's ultimately fine because it works. It performs its purpose. Let's see what else. On the yellow itself, this is a yellow plastic. On the yellow itself, it has, and this is a separate piece that's glued together. It's supposed to be anyway. You can see where it was probably at one point glued. On the yellow itself, we have the black paint that's done to the trim, and then across here on the rope, and then inside is done in a wash style, which works well enough, and then it's done on the trim down below as well, so to speak. All right, so moving on, we have the bicep swivel. There's also the shoulder itself swivels. on the ball peg inside. So you get that as well. So just like, it was a bit redundant, but it's fine. We have this band that's painted. The skin tone is all shaded, and then it has this blood speckle effect to it. The arm bands are all this single color plastic, and then they're put on, you know, like they're sit over top, and then the hand kind of keeps it in place, and that's dry brush silver, and then has the red speckle over top of it as well. And that's on a double hinged elbow, so no problems there. And then the wrist swivel on a ball hinge, and it swivels at both sides, so you can get up, down, and if you spin at the inner joint, you can get in, out. So no issues there. Everything works as it should. The legs are on T-jointed ball pegs, so you get the full Van Damme, you get the full Monty. There is some really weird tolerances with some of these joints, and it looks like, you see how this, I don't know what's going on here, but you see how that ball peg, that T-jointed ball joint there is like, it's off center. And I think that's just, yeah, that's the softer plastic moving around it. So it's just a matter of getting it all sorted again. So that's ultimately fine. Thigh swivel around the ball peg, that works fine. And then we have a double jointed knee, which is done well enough. The armor here is a yellow plastic that's glued on, 2 separate pieces. And then the black detailings are done in a wash that's done well enough. In most parts, it does get a little sketchy from time to time, but it ends up making the figure look like it lives in a dirty world, and I'm okay with that. And then the blood speckle is done there as well. And it looks like it's also dry brush silver. And then on the back, all the sculpting and stuff, all the sculpting, the wrinkles and the pants and the tunic and the gi or whatever is all done really well. And then we have a hinge coming down to a ball peg for the ankles, which works really well. That gets you an ankle tilt up slightly. There. No, you get a great ankle tilt. You just got to get around this shin armor. And then all the way down, so that works. And then using the ball peg, you get the rocker. So that all works fairly well. And then you have the toe hinge, which is a bit deep into the foot, but ultimately, I think, okay. So yeah, pretty efficient and effective figure. A pretty decent build. It's good news because it looks like we have 3 more coming. Smoke, Ermac, Reptile, and I feel like there was another one. Rain. So it looks like we're getting all the ninjas, which is fine. I prefer all the ninjas having more of a unique look, like as they did later on in the games, but, you know, got to get that repaint money. But it does look like we're getting some new molds. Baraka, Katana, Liu Kang, Shao Kahn. I really want a Kung Lao. Ugh. Give this video a like if you want a Kung Lao as well. That hat, that Michael Jackson swag, Mac. So there, the 3 ninjas are together, and size comparison wise, there it is with a Marvel Legend. So it's a bit of a bigger, beefier figure than your average 1/12 scale figure. Not by a whole lot, by American standards anyway, but like some of the Japanese figures, like the Figuarts and stuff, these are going to look pretty massive kind of next to. But a good looking set of ninjas nonetheless. Final thoughts wise, my negatives are going to be short and sweet, and that is to say I wish there was a little bit of a better fit of the hood over top of the mask so you didn't have those weird gaps on the side of it. And I also wish that the system, the joint that connects the hand with the forearm, it has a tendency to pop out with the hand instead of staying connected for an easy transfer of joints. It's an easy fix, it's an easy workaround, but it's still something that I feel like could be nailed down just a little bit better. It is cool to see him throwing the spear, though. It's always cool to see him throwing the spear, you know. And I wish, like, I'm not a big sound chip person, but like having a Scorpion say "get over here" would be pretty cool. Like I say it, but it does nothing. So, get over here. Worthless. But all in all, I think it's a really well done figure. I think it's sculpted well. I think it's painted well. I think the engineering works extremely well. I love the accessories. I wish there was a little bit more variation in the molds, but I get what they're going for. I really do feel like, I've said this in the Sub-Zero one, but I'm not sure which video comes out first. I really do feel like this company, which to me seems like it came out of nowhere with all these licenses, is operating at a level that NECA should be operating at. I feel like NECA should have grown and evolved to this stage. And this feels like where NECA should be if you'd handled NECA figures, 10 years ago. It feels like this is where NECA should be now. So it's a great figure. I'm not sure how I feel about the blood splatter. That's kind of a personal preference thing, but it'll still perform its job just well on my shelf, at least until I get the updated Scorpion. So I do recommend it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care.